Hello, my most amazing artists, and welcome to your second project of the new year. This is one of my favorite projects. We do it every single year at the beginning of the school year, and it is our monochromatic self-portraits. They look a little bit like this. We make these every year, starting in first grade all the way through fifth grade, so that you can see how much growth you make as an artist as you continue to learn skills and grow throughout elementary school. These are monochromatic self-portraits, so they have a special color palette we have to follow. And we're going to learn more about that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about what a self-portrait is. A self-portrait is a picture, a drawing, a painting, or a sculpture of you, the artist. So a self-portrait is basically an image of you. So we have to learn today how to draw a self-portrait. This will be the first part of this lesson, and it'll be broken up into two parts. The first part will be the drawing portion of how we draw our self-portrait and how we use different emotions in our faces to convey how we're feeling in our self-portrait. And then the second part of this lesson will be exploring that big word, monochromatic. And we're going to talk about color and how we're going to use color and value in our self-portraits. So to start with the first part of this lesson, all you need is a piece of paper and a pencil. And then a little bit later, we'll need a Sharpie or a skinny black pen or marker. Okay, for the first part of our self-portraits, we are exploring how to draw our portrait. So let's break it down to the components. Our self-portrait is going to be a picture of our head, neck, and shoulders this time. It's not going to be a full body. So we have to focus on making our head big enough so that we can see all of our facial expressions in detail, but not too big where we cannot fit on our shoulders or our hairstyles. So one of the tricks I use is called the ghost drawing. So I take my finger and I'm drawing out the letter U, a capital U, to figure out my head. I'm leaving the top of my head open instead of drawing a circle so that I can add hair detail easily later. So with that U drawing, I'm just sketching it out. I don't want to make my head too big where I can't fit my hair or my neck and shoulders on, but I also don't want to make it too small where I can't fit any facial details in. So I'll show you what it looks like. If it's like this, that's probably too small. And if it's like this, that's definitely too big. I have no room for any of my hair. So I want to find a good medium for that. So I'm going to practice a few times with my finger. My finger can do it, my pencil can do it. I'm going to draw lightly so that I can erase if I make any mistakes. There you go, that's a pretty good size head. I have enough room at the top for my hair and enough room at the bottom for my neck and shoulders. So let's add those on. I'm going to add two vertical lines for the neck. And coming off of the neck, I'm going to make a line that comes out this way and curves down to the bottom of the page. There's a nice shoulder. Do that on this side too. And then you can add your t-shirt line. So you can do a rounded curved line, or you could do like a V shape if you want. This is my basic head. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add my facial features in. Okay, attached to this video, I have a document that has all kinds of different eyes, noses, mouths, hairstyles. You can use these to get ideas for different expressions, for different ways to draw your eyes and mouths. And you can experiment with how you want your facial expression to look and how you want to draw your emotion or your feeling. So this will be there for you to use. If you want to, you can look at that and do your own eyes. I'm going to show you how I draw my eyes first. So I'm going to start off with two arches. I'm going to kind of find the middle of my U. I don't want them to be way up here and I don't want them to be way down here. So somewhere kind of in the middle. I'm going to do two arches, kind of like rainbow arches, like this. 1, 2. Right now it looks like my eyes are closed. And then to add detail to these eyes, because one thing I do not want to see is a face that looks like this. That is not a very detailed face, and we can do much better. So I'm starting with these arches. Under the arch, let's draw a circle for our iris. Our iris is the colored part of our eye. And then within the circle in the middle, let's add a pupil. Nice. And then I like to close the shape. So I draw a horizontal straight line across to close. You could do a curved line if you want. You can add eyelashes if you want to. You don't have to. You can. And then I also like to add the ears right away. The ears line up with our eyes, so they should be the same distance or on the same kind of level or height as our eyes are. So I'm going to put one here and one over here. And I just do a curved, like almost C shape for that. Now I'm going to add my nose. You can do noses all kinds of different ways. You can do like an L-shaped nose, like a big capital L. I like to do one like this. I do a straight line. And then at the bottom of that line, I do like a C, the letter C. And then I can add my mouth. I want to be smiling in my picture, so I'm going to do a smile, but I want to add a little more detail than just that, so I'm going to make my teeth showing. So I have my curved line. I'm going to make a horizontal line to connect the shape and close it off. And I'm going to add another line here for my teeth. And maybe I want my mouth to be kind of open, so on the bottom half of this shape, I'm going to make like a bump. That's going to be my tongue. And I color in the space between my teeth and my tongue. Nice. And if you want, you can add some extra details like cheeks, like that. All right. The next thing I'm going to add are eyebrows. I'm going to take a break here, and I'm going to show you some different ways you can do different emotions, different facial expressions, and how eyebrows can totally change the look of your portrait. Here I have my whiteboard out. I'm going to use this so I can easily change things and erase things. So we're going to start off with looking at some different emotions and different ways to use eyebrows to express our emotions. So we have a couple of different facial expressions here, but we're going to talk about how eyebrows can change the entire way your face looks. So for this one, if I did just happy, regular, arched eyebrows, that's a pretty happy expression. I would classify this person as a happy guy. What happens if I take those eyebrows off and I replace them with eyebrows that look like this? My happy expression all of a sudden changes to look like somebody who is up to no good, hatching an evil plan, being sneaky. This one too, we could change the eyebrows. If I made slanted down eyebrows like this, that would make an angry expression. But I can easily change this face with this sad mouth by changing my eyebrows to go this way. Now he goes from angry to sad. I can also kind of do a combination of two. So this guy's kind of silly. So I think I'm going to do a slanty down eyebrow and an upwards eyebrow. And this one I can make look scared or nervous with that wavy mouth. So now you can kind of see how all of these can change your expression pretty easily. So once you have your eyebrows decided on, now we can talk about hair. So I'm going to talk about some boy hair first. So if I'm doing boys' hair, there's lots of different hairstyles that boys could have. So let's say I've got really short hair. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to close off my head with a curved line like this. I've got really short hair. But right now, it doesn't look like I have any hair. It looks like I'm bald. So this is a good tip for anytime you're doing any type of hairstyle that might be shorter, or if your hair is up into a ponytail or an updo. I find the middle top of my ear and I make a little mark at the top of my ear. And then I'm going to connect that mark. So I'm going to draw an arch that starts there and it's going to go all the way over. Maybe I want to add a little bit of a wiggly line on there, and there. Now it doesn't look like I'm bald anymore. Maybe you have a little bit longer hair and you have some hair that hangs in front of your forehead. I would do a zigzag line to close the top of your head. But now you just look like you have a cracked eggshell for a head. So we're going to do that same trick where we make lines on top of the ear, and we are going to make an arch that connects like that. Now you look like you have a complete hairstyle. Some of you maybe have this hairstyle but you woke up and your hair was all crazy. So instead of doing a round arch, you could do a zigzag line on top. So you kind of have a messy hair day. My last one is maybe you are a boy that has a little bit longer, shaggier hair. One thing I do is I make like a diagonal line with a zigzag comes down this side, maybe a zigzag on this side. Then I'm going to make my hair come around and past my ear and zigzag like this. That's if you got a little bit of a longer hairstyle. So these are some of the boy hairstyles that you can try. And the big trick on this is finding the tops of the ears and completing that line around the top so it really makes your hair look more realistic. Next, let's try some girl hair. Okay, so I quickly drew out some new faces. Let's talk a little bit about some girl hair. Some of the first ones that I always get asked by you guys is how to draw a ponytail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close off my shape with a curved line and a little arch so it looks like I'm bald. And I'm going to do that same trick as I did on the boy's hair. I'm going to make little marks that go at the top of the ears, and I'm going to connect those by making an arch over and around. Now I'm going to make myself like a little high ponytail, so I make my little ponytail holder, a little circle. If you want, you can turn this into a bow by adding triangles on each side or triangle shapes. And then I'm going to make a ponytail coming out of the top. So I'm just going to do a curved line that comes down, and I can do a zigzag line at the bottom, and it comes back up. Some of you also ask, how do you do like a bun of some sort? So we would do that same thing. We're going to close off the top. We're going to make an arch that goes from one ear to the other ear. And if I want a ballerina bun, I can make a nice neat circle. Or if you're like me and you've got a messy bun in, I just make like a wavy line around the top. Another one that is asked for a lot is if your hair is down. So if you're able to put your hair behind your ears, I draw a diagonal line that goes towards the center from the top of each ear. So it kind of looks like I'm putting a roof on top of my head. And then I come up with just a little bit from that top, and I'm going to draw a curved line that comes around my ear and down. If you have shorter hair, you can end it a little shorter, like this if you want. I'm going to bring mine down. And that's one if you have hair that you can tuck behind your ears. If you have bangs, I close off the top of my head with a straight horizontal line. I even add like a little triangle in it so that I have like a space. And I'm going to draw a curved line that comes around my ears. Two other hairstyles that are asked a lot are braids and like curly hair. So let's draw a quick one down here. Your face will look better than this one. If you're doing braids, I start off with those two diagonal lines to make the roof on top of your head. Curve around the ear, but stop just right by the ear. And to make braids, I draw some ovals stacked on top of each other with like a little ziggly line on the ends. And that's how I draw some braids. And if you have kind of curly hair, you can do some bumpy lines instead of straight lines around the outside. So that is just a quick tutorial on some different hairstyles that you can try. So what you need to do now is you need to add your facial expressions, your eyebrows. You need to have eyebrows, eyes, nose, and your mouth and your hair. So go ahead and work on that, and then we'll talk about the next step. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished up my self-portrait. I added my eyebrows. I wanted to have a happy expression, and I added my hairstyle. You can also go further to add more detail like earrings, eyelashes, necklaces, or write something on your shirt. But once you have this step done, the last step of this part of the lesson is adding an outline. So you can use a skinny, thin-tipped Sharpie like this one. Kind of has a tiny little tip on it. If you have a black pen, you can use that. It's really up to you. I've got a little black pen here, and I'm going to use that to outline my self-portrait. And basically what I mean by outlining is that you're tracing over everything that you've done with pencil.
and you're putting black over the top. This is going to help our facial features and all of our details stand out when we start to color, so nothing kind of blends in. So you want to give everything a good outline. Okay, I finished outlining everything. If I can still see some pencil lines, I can take my eraser and I can go back and kind of erase those out in case I've missed some spots. So clean it up with an eraser and get all those pencil marks erased off your paper if they're still showing. And this is the end of the first part. So hold on to these because next video we're going to talk about value and color and how we are going to color our self-portraits. Stay tuned. I'll see you next time.